Hello there, Dr. Amina here, and this is our usual Thursday check-in. The caption looks strange, I know, comparing our bodies to a luxury car, but that's what I want you to do today. So for luxury cars, usually they would tell you, the manufacturer would tell you have to use the premium gasoline in these cars. And the thing about lower grade gasoline tends to have impurities. So putting the low grade gasoline in your car means that, you know, the sediment and impurities build up and they can sort of clog the engine, and your car would require potentially more frequent servicing, or certainly the longevity of the car would be compromised, right? So it's the same for the body. And by the way, that thing about the gasoline, I didn't know about that until recently, maybe the past couple of years. I thought it was a gimmick, but then learned for myself, with my car, that that's actually a thing. The mechanic explained it to me and so on and so forth. And it makes a lot of sense. And the same thing goes for our bodies. So when we when we consume food that is not in the realest or most whole form, right? It means that it's not adulterated, but I guess you can say adulterated, right? It has a lot of additives. It is refined, and so a lot of when in the process of refinement, a lot of the naturally occurring nutrients and so on get removed, and then they have to re-add nutrients and so on and so forth, which may not be in the easiest form for the body to use, right? So essentially having food that's more refined and also has extra additives, like the sugar is our big thing, of course. So if you have a lot of sugar, right, so your body has to work harder to metabolize all that extra sugar, grams and grams of extra sugar, and all the other unnatural additives that are not naturally present in the foods. So working to remove all those things, right? And then some of the excess, where our bodies might not be able to remove some of these excesses, right? And so they can accumulate in our bodies and affect the natural functioning of our bodies, like the efficiency. Our body won't function as efficiently, and that's how we get more aches and pains, and we don't, our sleep isn't as restful, right? And we can get things like headaches and so on and so forth, right? And a lot of these things are caused by the body really, being congested with all the extra additives that build up, just like the car and all the impurities from the gasoline that build up in the engine. So the same way our bodies get kind of clogged up with all these additives and impurities, right? Excess sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and so on and so forth, right? And so if you think about it like this, you realize why, we would be maybe plagued by so many more diseases now. Diabetes, of course, is a huge one, with probably 2/3 of the US population suffering from some sort of blood sugar problem. If not outright type 2 diabetes, then pre-diabetes. If not pre-diabetes, then insulin resistance, right? It's all a spectrum, right? From high insulin levels, insulin resistance, then pre-diabetes when the sugars start to creep up, and then outright type 2 diabetes, right? And so we need to be aware of what we're eating and the excesses. The recommendation for sugar is no more than 24 grams of added sugar in a 24-hour period, right? Every 4 grams of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon. So if you're like me about 7 years ago, having 6 teaspoons of sugar in coffee, or 7, that means that just from 1 cup of coffee, you already exceeded your daily limit, right? And then more and more as the day progresses, these will cause your body not to function efficiently. For me, it was like, almost permanent migraine headaches and just a variety of other things, right? So we have to be aware that all the extras in our food, especially, sugar is a big one, like probably one of the commonest, but so many other things now in our foods, because, for convenience, we rely on a lot of packaged foods. But we have to be aware that if we don't really pay attention to our bodies and treat it, like a temple, I guess, then we're going to suffer the consequences of all the extra things that the body well, is working so hard to remove, and then probably is overwhelmed and not able to remove all these extra metabolites, from the breakdown of the high fructose corn syrup and sugar and so on, right? So just wanted to kind of give you that comparison today and encourage you to continue, right, to be aware of added sugar in your foods, your packaged foods, etc., and to know that even if you have not been diagnosed with a specific disease, it's impacting your body and the functioning. And if you were to consciously cut down on the sugar consumption and get it in that goal, the 24 grams per day, you most likely will actually feel the improvement in your body and the functioning, and your energy levels and so on. You probably get a pep in your step, right? And and it'll be worth it in the long run, right? I'm Dr. Amina. If you've never seen, if you're just coming into my neck of the woods, and I help people break up with sugar and make up with health. And my experience here, well, I'm in Mississippi, and over the past 8 years, just seeing the impact of type 2 diabetes, it's really gotten me to go out of my way to help as many people as possible break up with sugar so that they can achieve, make up with the health that they deserve, okay? If you want to reach out to me, there's a link in my bio where you can actually book a free call, and let's chat about where you are with sugar and see how we can go about getting you to break up with sugar once and for all. You all have a good evening, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.